Alaikum wa rahmatullah. Come on, guys, I hate doing this. You know the drill. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May Allah's peace and mercy be upon all of you. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you all so much for coming tonight, or today, I'm sorry. So today we're going to go ahead and start our 4th annual conference titled Moving Forward. So a quick question before we get started. Who here attended last year's Embrace Conference? Raise your hand. Okay, decent amount of people, So for those of you who don't remember, last year's conference was basically about highlighting and embracing the unique challenges that Muslim converts face in the Muslim community. So, as a follow-up, this year our focus is coming up with solutions, having a discussion here to come up with solutions and improving the challenges and the situations that converts face in the Muslim community. And so we have, alhamdulillah, a diverse cast of speakers to help lead the conversation, and we're hoping that this conference will all be able to together come up with good, concrete solutions in tackling these problems, and what our role is essentially improving our communities. What is our unique role? And so hopefully, inshallah, God willing, we can answer that question in today's conference today. So, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We have the schedules for the conference on the tables. Essentially, it's going to be 4 sessions. Sister session, then we'll break for lunch, then we'll have our interactive session, our imam session, then lastly we'll have our entertainment session. Basically, we'll just, inshallah, enjoy some good poetry and spoken word from our talented Muslim converts today. So, before we go ahead and get started with the first session, we're going to have some quiz questions scattered throughout the conference. So first question, does everyone here see the shirt that I'm wearing? One second. So you guys see this shirt? What do you guys think about this shirt? This is our Embrace shirt. Yes? No? Looks good? So, everyone here is going to have 5 chances to earn a shirt today. 5 chances. We're going to ask 5 questions throughout the session, and if you were able to answer the question correctly, you will get a shirt. Now, I don't want people just shouting out the answer. We have to be organized and raise our hands, okay? We're all on the same page, right? We raise our hands if we know the answer to the question, guys. No shouting it out, getting excited. Oh, this is the answer, this is the answer. Raise your hands. So we'll go ahead and start quickly with the first question, which is, what is the name of the first elected Muslim Congress? You get 2 shirts if you know which state that this representative is from. You don't count, Larry. You all know that you know the answer at the back of the hand. Andrew, you already have a shirt, man. Yes. Keith Ellison, correct. So, quick one is Minnesota. That's correct. You won a free shirt. So, guys, that means there are only 4 more chances to earn a shirt, but don't worry. Hopefully, we'll have 4 other lucky winners here. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first session. I would like to invite our MC for the session, Sister Catherine Tagle, to the stage. She's going to blow your mind, guys. I have been requested to open the program with Surah Al-Fatiha. Now, my tajweed isn't the best, so guys, please try your best not to make fun of me. So I'll go ahead and try and open it with Surah Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Catherine, as Kenneth so lovingly introduced me. A little bit about myself before we move on to our wonderful panel of ladies. I have been Muslim. This Tuesday will actually be 14 years that I have been Muslim. And I actually joined Embrace on a complete accident about 2 years ago, fall of 17. For me personally, I think Embrace has really given me, I know everybody says this is my family, you're my family, but I really feel so close to the women. And the brothers even though we don't talk as much. But I had a lot of negativity coming into Islam, and they've really shown me the light, the better side of it, the loving, caring side of it. And I thank you, ladies. I will always be appreciative to you and all of the Embrace members for that. So we have, on our wonderful panel, we have Sister Noor, Sadek. She's also a convert. She was formerly a professional opera and concert singer. She is now a renowned songwriter, storyteller, and has produced several audio products for Muslim children. So that's something to look into for us moms and dads. She is a co-lead for the Dallas chapter of the Daughters of Abraham, as well as a board member for Friends for Good. And she is a passionate advocate and activist for women's rights, not just in Islam, but also in the U.S. This year actually marks her 30th anniversary, mashallah, as a proud Muslim sister. And she is here with us for Embrace. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Praise be to Allah, the most merciful, creator and sustainer of all the worlds. And peace and blessings be upon all of his righteously guided prophets, from Noah to Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May peace be upon them all. May Allah join us with them one day in the beautiful garden, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for braving the elements today. I was thinking of Prophet Noah on my way here, for hardly facing any water compared to what that prophet had to deal with, subhanAllah. I know we all just got settled in from the rain and everything, but I want you to just take a second with me, and I'm going to ask you to shut your eyes and envision something. Remember when you first got it. You first got the call to Islam, when it made sense, the aha moment, the lights went on, all the puzzle pieces came together. Maybe it was your first prayer, your first sujood, prostration, where you felt that peace. Think about that first moment. Maybe it was an ayah from Quran. Maybe it was something someone said. Maybe it was a kindness offered to you by a Muslim. What was that moment for you when you knew this was it? Think about that moment. Think about what you felt at that moment. Just shut your eyes for a second and think of what that felt like. If you can envision that one more time. I was here last year in Kat's position as a moderator. And when I looked out over the room, the one thing I didn't feel was that joy. That incredible feeling we had when we became Muslim and we knew this was it. And we thought and said to our Creator, Allah, what on earth did I deserve to be guided to this way of life? That incredible joy, that sakina, that feeling of comfort and peace. We've all had it or we wouldn't be here in this room. That's one of the things that drove us, is that incredible feeling, whether it was in your moment of sujood or whatever. And I want to see if we can kind of regain some of that again today, so that when we leave the conference, we walk out with that same feeling established within us again, and we share it as little beacons of light. My favorite ayah from Quran, Surah Hadid. O you who have believed, fear Allah, have taqwa, be conscious of Allah, and believe in His messenger. And Allah will give you a double portion of His mercy. He will make for you a light by which you will walk straight. He will give you guidance, and He will forgive you. And Allah is forgiving and merciful. That's what I want everybody to take with them today. Why are we missing some of that joy? I really feel like some of the problem is we're missing the sunnah in our lives. And by the sunnah, I mean the way that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, acted, reacted, behaved, and so forth. I often think that what we concentrate on once we've become Muslims is we work on what I call the 3 R's, not reading, writing, and arithmetic, y'all Americans, but rules, regulations, and rituals. We're all busy learning how to be the perfect Muslim, to perfect our prayer, to perfect our wudu, to perfect our fasting, to perfect our zakat. You know the stories. We hear the word haram a lot. We hear a lot of this criticism of what we're doing isn't right, our salah, our hijab, our beard. We get a lot of rules, regulations, rituals. What happened to the sunnah? I was at a conference a couple of years ago, and the scholar said, she asked us, what is deen? What is the meaning of deen? And we all came up with ideas, our way of life, so forth, religion. And she finally came to us and said, it is the intersection of Allah and others. It isn't just about worshiping Allah and making our relationship perfect with Him. It's about Allah and taking care of our responsibilities and our gratitude toward Allah, all those rules, regulations, and rituals. But then the other half is others, the people we interact with all day long. And when we think of the time we spent directly in conversation with Allah on our prayer mats, maybe 5 minutes of prayer, a little bit longer if you're a little more pious and following all the prayers and so forth. Maybe we spend 5 prayers a day, a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour for the most conscious of us. But the rest of the day, the waking hours, those 17 hours, who are they spent with? They're spent with others, right? And the Quran, subhanAllah, is replete with information of how we should treat others. And how did all those Muslims, particularly in the large Islamic nations like Malaysia and Indonesia, become Muslims? Did people walk in, the merchants and traders walk in with a Quran and begin reading in Arabic? Did they all fall to their knees in prostration in front of the masses? No. They were known for their incredible character, the character of our Prophet, peace be upon him. Their integrity, their ethics, their honesty, their kindness, their generosity, how they dealt with others in a very peaceful and forgiving and lovely way. And that is what often got us to think about looking at the Quran as the behavior of another Muslim with us. And we see people today, we see them so righteous. We see the man in the masjid, every single prayer, every sunnah prayer, every day, he's there, he's there, he's there. But how is his character? Or we see the auntie who's trying to tell us something about our scarf or how we're praying, and we see her so righteous in her behavior, and she treats us so roughly and so badly. Is that what Muhammad, peace be upon him, would do? We need to know this man. And what were we told that the Prophet was sent to teach us? To teach us how to pray, to teach us how to be Muslim, to teach us how to grow our beard, wear our hijab. Is that what he was sent here for? What's the answer, everybody? Muhammad was sent to do what? Perfect our character. And his loving wife Aisha radiallahu anha said of him, if you want to see the Quran in action, just look at this man. He is the embodiment. Not just in his rules, his regulations, his rituals, but in how he most importantly treated everybody. And it's a worldwide problem of Muslims today. We fixate on those 3 R's. And it's all over the world, so it's a different problem. But, there was a time when the Christians were talking about WWJD, what would Jesus do? I think we need a WWMD, what would Muhammad do? A lot of times when we're faced with world situations, the last thing we think of is what was the example of our Prophet. And we know that in the Quran, each and every verse was revealed for a specific purpose, for a specific situation, a specific person. So each verse had its own specific reason. It wasn't all just revealed from Baqarah, from the longest to the shortest. So each verse had a reason, and we need to know those reasons. How did Muhammad handle them? And so forth. So it's very important for us to, one of our rules and regulations, do read the Quran as often as we can. and places that we can go to look for character. How do we define our character? How do we act? For example, in Surat Hujurat, which is Surat 49, it is said very quickly in a few ayat, make settlements between disagreeing people. When someone comes to you with questionable information, don't send it out right away. Examine it, investigate it. We get links every day on Facebook and social media, and we immediately share it with someone else. Investigate those things first. This is Islamic behavior. Don't ridicule, don't insult, don't call each other with offensive nicknames, don't backbite, don't gossip. We have made you different to know each other. So be respectful, tolerant, curious about one another, and have patience. In Surah Luqman, where a very wise father is talking to his son in Surah 31, have gratitude to Allah and to others. Don't be boastful. Be moderate in what you do. We were just talking about being A personalities. Be moderate in what you do. And beware of that disagreeable voice of the donkey when you speak. So first, let's read our Quran every day a little bit. It's our guidance. It's our manual of life. We hear Americans say all the time, oh, we don't have a manual for life. We do. We do in the Holy Quran. You can get a wonderful phone app. I have something called Muslim Pro. It's an application on my phone. You get an ayah every day. An ayah every day is great. And the more you read, the more you get hooked on this amazing, amazing book. Also, as we have Noor Art as our store, we can recommend a lot of great seerah books, which are the life and story of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. A great one is by Martin Lings, L-I-N-G-S. Get to know your prophet. I know when I was a new Muslim, I said, how will I get to know Muhammad as a man and not confuse him as we did with Christianity when they made Jesus a deity? So it was very important to learn to know Muhammad. We even have a little DVD out there and CD called We Love Muhammad. It's for children, but I guarantee parents will learn from it as well. And having had to do a lot of research about our prophet, all of that research went into the storytelling on that DVD. So I would leave you with that charge, brothers and sisters. Find that joy, remember that joy, concentrate on what the character of a Muslim is. We talk about being ambassadors for our faith. Those of us that are converts and have the blessing of the great tongue of English, the native tongue of English, that we can speak about Islam. Read your holy book, get to know your prophet, stop and think. When you are reached with a decision or a disagreement with your family, your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors, your community, what would Muhammad, peace be upon him, do? Get to know those answers. Inshallah, may Allah give us that lovely ayah that He gives us two lights in our life, one to guide our way and one of forgiveness. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much.
MashaAllah, that was very beautiful, Sister Moon. May we all be able to emulate the character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the best of our abilities. I mean, so our next lovely sister is LaTanya Floyd. I don't know her personally, but I've heard a lot of really good things about her. So, mashallah. She actually holds a BS in computer science and an MS in financial management and information systems. And she actually works in the corporate finance area of AT&T, so a little bit different, but still just as knowledgeable. She enjoys reading, being a mom to her son Ibrahim, wonderful name. She also enjoys planning events and volunteering in the community. So let's go ahead and hear what this wonderful sister has to say for us.
So we welcome our sister Noor, to you sister as well. Assalamu alaikum. As she mentioned, I'm Sister Rashida, and inshallah, this 4 years since I became a son. So Sister Noor has issued us a challenge. Once again, embody the character that the Prophet ﷺ exemplified. And when we think about what Sister Noor said about the reason that the Prophet ﷺ was sent, he is reported to have said, I was sent to perfect good character, and that is from Ahmed and others. And so, a hypothetical situation. A Muslim couple who has been together for 30 years confides in you that they never had any child, that they are not married, and asks if you think they should have one. So, show of hands, how many of us would tell them, you've been this way for 30 years, why change it? Anybody? Okay. Well, not many would tell them that, right? So no matter how long you've been doing something or behaving a certain way, if it's out of the bounds of our Islam, we can and should change for the better, right? And so, you know, we should be open to change. Better yet, we should embrace change. Change is good, and Allah will help us, inshallah. So Allah says in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, verily Allah does not change men's condition unless they change their inner selves. And that's from Surah Al-Ra'd, the Thunder, Surah 13, Ayah 11. Now some tafsir explanations of Quran point to both the good and the bad, right? That Allah does not change a person's situation to bad unless they have changed for the worse, and Allah does not change a person's situation to good unless they have changed for the better. We're talking about changing for the better here today, right? And also note that the ayah says, unless they change their inner selves. No one can do it for us, right? It begins with us. So where do we begin? Well, let's start with our intentions, inshallah. So in the age of social media, we have become hyper sensitive to what other people think of us. How many likes did I get for that post, right? But before I go on though, let me also say that we shouldn't totally disregard what other of us, especially those we love and trust, because sometimes there can be a check on our behavior, right? But when it comes to the type of change we're talking about, that change to our inner, that's not something that we do out of a concern about other people. That's something we do out of concern for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To Sister Noor's point, if that is what we're doing, we're trying to improve our character for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that should definitely translate into how we treat other people. So when we became Muslim, inshallah, it was because we wanted a relationship with our Creator. We wanted to know what He expects of us. We wanted to show our gratitude for all He has given us. So we start with Bismillah, we start in His name. And we make our niyyah, our intentions, with the aim to please Him. Narrated Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, O people, the reward of deeds depends upon the intentions, and every person will get the reward according to what he has intended. So whoever immigrated for Allah and His apostle, then his immigration was for Allah and His apostle. And whoever immigrated to take worldly benefit or for a woman to marry, then his immigration was for what he immigrated for. And that's from Sahih Bukhari. So this change that we're talking about is about our relationship with our Creator. And no doubt, other people will benefit as we work to improve those core aspects of our character. So for example, if we have anger management issues and we work on that, no doubt the people around us will be very glad, right? But they are not the goal. Pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So as we work to improve ourselves, let's remember that we're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, keeping our intentions pure so that we get the reward, inshallah. So we said that change is good and that we will embrace change. We said that we will remember to do it solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now, what are we doing? What are we changing? Next, inshallah, we should set some goals. So first, like with anything in our faith, we don't go too far to the left, we don't go too far to the right. Al-Mizan. We take a balanced, measured approach. Taking on too much too fast, no matter what it is, can be overwhelming, right? So we should pace ourselves as we work to improve ourselves. And when it comes to setting goals, it can be easier to think about when it's something like finishing that book or getting in those 10,000 steps or getting that job. But it can be a bit more difficult when it's something abstract like improving our character. But it's our character that leads to our actions. And each of us will have unique goals as we all struggle with different things. And figuring out where we should focus takes some self-reflection and introspection, which may be easier for some of us to do. But we'll talk about help with that in a bit. And if we struggle with where we should focus, we could start with where the results of our actions was conflict, right? Because there's definitely something going on there. We could work backwards from the conflict, dissecting how it came about, and we may find areas of focus there, inshallah. More importantly though, we said we wanted to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what character does Allah say the believers have? Those would be great goals to strive for, right? So from Surah Al-Mu'minun, the believers, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the believers must eventually win through. Those who humble themselves in prayer, who avoid vain talk, who are active in deeds of charity, who abstain from sex except with those joined to them in the marriage bond or the captives whom their right hands possess, for in their case they are free from blame. But those whose desires exceed those limits are transgressors. Those who faithfully observe their trusts and their covenants, and who strictly guard their prayers. These will be the heirs, who will inherit paradise. They will dwell therein forever. And again, that's from Surah Al-Mu'minun, the believers, Surah 23, ayahs 1 through 11. So let's unpack that a bit. If we wanted to know the character that Allah says the believers have, just from these verses we get humble in prayer, avoid vain talk, active in charity, protects their chastity, keeps their word, and guards their prayers. So just from this list, everybody could probably pick at least one of them, right? Inshallah. And two of these character traits are referenced by the Prophet ﷺ as leading to paradise. Narrated Sahal bin Sa'd, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Whoever guarantees me the chastity of what is between his legs, i.e. his private parts, and what is between his jaws, i.e. his tongue, I guarantee him paradise." And that's from Sahih Bukhari. So guaranteed paradise, just for these two, subhanAllah. And if we need other ideas for goals, we could also, Allah says He loves in the Quran. So for example, Allah loves the doers of good. And we generally know when we're doing something good, but we'll talk more about that specific ayah in a moment. Allah loves those who are patient in adversity. Adversity. So we should definitely be more patient in those everyday situations that aren't that difficult, right? Allah loves those who act equitably, like those who treat people fairly. Allah loves those who keep themselves pure. So we talked about chastity a moment ago, and this could also refer to cleanliness. Allah loves those who turn to Him in repentance. We are human, and we will make mistakes, and we should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness when we do. Allah loves those who are conscious of Him. So for example, before we say or do something, thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and whether those words or actions will be pleasing or displeasing to Him. And also remembering our recording angels. Right? Allah loves those who place their trust in Him. So we know where to tie our camel and then trust in Allah. But sometimes we get so focused on that first part, tying our camel or doing all we can, that we kind of overlook the second part to then trust in Allah. Possibly thinking that it's our actions that'll be the sole reason for the outcome. But we have to remember that Allah decides the outcome. So we trust in Him. So these are all examples from the Quran, and we can definitely look these up for greater context. But on that first one though, Allah loves the doers of good. Here's the ayah that's wrong for more detail. Who spend in His way in times of plenty and in times of hardship, and hold in check their anger, and pardon their fellow men, because Allah loves the doers of good. And that's from Ali Imran, the family of Imran, Surah 3, ayah 134. So 3 more we can add that some of us struggle with, right? Being charitable when things are tight, making sure that we hold our anger in check, and that we forgive others. So there are plenty of goals that we can set to improve our character. So definitely plenty of goals that we can set based on what we personally need to do. And I will also cite the verse following that one to reiterate repentance, because we are human beings and we will fall short as we strive to be our best selves. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And who, when they have committed a shameful deed or have otherwise sinned against themselves, remember Allah and pray that their sins be forgiven. For who but Allah could forgive sins? And do not knowingly persist in doing whatever wrong they may have done. And again, that's from Ali Imran, the family of Imran, Surah 3, ayah 135. And do not knowingly persist in doing whatever wrong they may have done. Now this leads me to our next topic, roadblocks to our goals. Because we sometimes don't even know what it is that causes us to repeat certain behavior, right? But we will also talk about what inspires us as we strive towards our goals. So, have you ever had a difficult situation happen 8+ hours into your day of fasting? Your blood sugar is low, your patience is short. Well, now imagine that you're not fasting voluntarily, but you don't have food to eat. And not only that, you have the added worry of having sent your children off to school hungry, hoping that they got lunch, let alone breakfast. So the point is, it can be very hard to focus on things like improving our patience when our basic needs aren't being met. And that's where some of the resources we'll learn more about here today come in, including food pantries. And we should definitely make use of the resources that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for us, whether it's to give or to receive, right? And while that example of a physical roadblock may be a bit more obvious to us, there are those emotional roadblocks, right, that may be more subtle. And as mentioned, some of us are great at introspection and drawing that dotted line between specific behaviors and those things in our past that contribute. But for many of us, it can be very hard to see ourselves, right? And that's where another resource here today comes in. Muslim psychologists and counselors who can help us navigate these issues and find a path forward. Now I know culturally some of us shy away from this type of help, But I think we can all agree we tend to tell any and everyone else our problems or all our business, right? People who don't have the education, the experience that these professionals do. So again, we should definitely make use of the resources that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for us, inshallah. So we have physical roadblocks, and we have emotional roadblocks, and then we have another type of physical roadblock, people. And we can't always remove the people roadblocks from our lives, right? Especially if they're family, because we don't cut the ties with kith and kin. So we have to find the best way to interact with them so that they are not a roadblock for us, right? So here's an example.
So I appreciate all of you. So I guess we're going to open it up for a Q&A. Does anybody have anything they want to ask? Any suggestions? Any testimonies from their own life? We've got a couple of minutes. Don't make me pick you out of a crowd. Nobody has a question? Where? Oh, I'm so sorry. I got it. Oh, I need the exercise. We're good. Got to get those steps in. Got to get those 10,000 steps in.
Assalamu alaikum. On my flight over, it was a very, very interesting flight. I sat next to a lady who was a judge and also evangelical Christian. Our conversation was extremely interesting. It's one of the first times I've had a conversation with a black Republican evangelical Christian that went so well. We exchanged information and was like, okay, yeah, I gotta keep in touch. And she said, when was that time that you knew that God was in the room? She used Jesus. And I said, well, we believe him as a prophet, but not as God. And you brought that up again. And so I just wanted to share this. And inshallah, I was born Muslim, but my parents are rebirths. And so that is very much a part of my experience, being in Baltimore and growing up in the city. And when I first found, I guess Allah found that moment, I was actually in Haiti, working there doing relief work. And this was going after the earthquake. And it was just, if you've ever been around death or been around a situation where you just felt like a lot of sadness, but also felt Allah there in the room at the same exact time, it is a powerful, powerful thing. And so I remember getting up, when I first got there, it was so overwhelming just seeing all these bodies and just people just being in these situations. But the thing that got to me was the joy I saw in people. And I remember we had a little baby that was in the camp. He was 22 days old. And that was one of the strongest individuals I ever saw, because when we walked up on him, he only had one leg because a rock had fallen on his leg at 22 years old. And I know we first see this and we feel sad and we feel upset, but this baby has so much joy and nur inside of him. I mean, it was just breathtaking. And I remember getting up making salat the next day, and I made fajr, and I'm not like a crier, but throughout the entire prayer, I cried because I just saw the nur of Allah that came into that room. And when you said that, and sitting with her also on the plane, and didn't think about that. So I appreciate you all allowing me to share this with you. But alhamdulillah, Allah comes to us at different times and at different moments. And that was definitely a moment where it definitely brought me to
Thank you so much for sharing that. Anybody else who'd like to share, ask a question? I mean, I could talk for days on testimonies in my own life, so we don't have time like that. We've got 12 minutes till people start wanting to eat. We good? Okay, so I'll share one from my life. Oh, sorry. Oh, good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You saved the crowd.
I'd like to address the single parent issue. I've been a Muslim since '94, and I had my kids later in life, but I also became a single mother. But I also felt very isolated as an American and as a convert, because there are cultural cliques. The Arabs stick with the Arabs, the Desis stick with the Arabs. The Desis, they speak in their language, they ignore you. They don't mean to, I think so, but you feel isolated somewhat. And as a single mom, you're even one step removed from that, because you don't get invited to events. Those women don't want you around their husbands if you're single. It's very palpable, the rejection. You don't get invited to their homes, you don't get invited to events, and you're kind of stuck at home. And one thing I regret, and I will pass this on to other parents, is make sure your children socialize with other Muslim kids, even if it's your convert friends is very important. And my kids do not, because I stayed at home and my kids started socializing with people they went to school with, and it didn't end well. And a big regret that I have as a parent, as a single parent, and as a convert, I don't feel like I put enough Islam into them. I didn't make the effort to go to the masjid because I felt isolated as a convert. So I'm glad you're having these events and people can meet other converts. But if you have young children and teenagers, please socialize with other Muslim families. It's really important that you keep those values going with the other children that they associate with.
So I'll just make a comment there and then I'll pass because I think we all have something to contribute. I completely agree with you and 100%. And so one of the things that I've done for my son is that it's been not a struggle, but more than anything, I see it as an investment, and I also see it as that's something that I've been criticized about, of putting him into Islamic school, right? You need to worry about college. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna die in the next plane. I need to worry about what I can give him now. So that's been my way of also helping my son, and so cultivating that has been very important. But I completely agree with you. Now, something that we have here, a different dynamic, and here in the DFW, and I've lived in 3 different cities with 3 different communities, is that, mashallah, the communities here are very intertwined. And I've been invited to Nigerian iftars here, Desi iftars, like, alhamdulillah, I think we're changing. But I think it takes a lot from you as well to get out of your comfort zone. For a long time, I would not leave because I don't speak the language, because I'm not one of them. But you know what? I am one of them because we're Muslims. So I need to leave that aside. And at the end of the day, we have something in common, which is the most important of everything, Islam. And so based on that, it's like, listen, sister, if I need to educate you on this, and I do, I've had, sister, I don't understand Urdu, can you swap it to English? I don't understand Arabic, can you swap it? And most of the time, mashallah, they don't do it with the bad intention. It's just when I'm around my Hispanic sisters or my Latina sisters, we start speaking Spanish and I don't realize it, right? And then I'm always correcting them. I'm like, Sister Martha, Rashida's in the room, or so-and-so. And so sometimes it's not even that you're doing it intentionally, but I completely understand, and I've been there, done that. And I'll end with this. In New Jersey, it was predominantly Palestinian. And I only learned how to say salam alaikum. I didn't know how to say wa alaikum salam. So I was so excited to tell everyone salam alaikum. And so they wouldn't reply. And I'm like, am I saying it wrong? Why are they saying wa alaikum salam? And it was heartbreaking, honestly. So the next thing what I did is I put, like assalamu alaikum in papers all over the masjid, and then smile, it's sunnah. And then everybody started questioning, we need to look at who did this. And I said, this is my cry out for help. You need to really get in tune that we are one. And so sometimes we have to be that person to make those changes. And that's what we're talking about today. We have to be that change that we want to see.
So Sister Susan, 100% agree, just like Nahila said. And, to Nahila's point about when you are in the room and it not being intentional, but you have to get in the room first, right? And to your point about not being invited, I think sometimes what I try to remember is that if it's because I'm African American, then that's a problem. But to Nahila's point, if it's just because you don't want to have to translate or you just want to speak in Arabic or speak in Urdu or in Spanish, then, that's fine. One of the things that I did do to try to bring sisters together was to create an event, and it's called Unity. And basically the sisters get together, and it's sisters that are unlike yourselves. And it wasn't just supposed to be something that we went out and did, it was supposed to be something you end up doing in your home. So you invite 4 or 5 sisters or more over to your home who are unlike yourself. And so hopefully that would help to break some of what you're talking about. Now on the child thing, subhanAllah, I I think you are spot on, and the fact that you have the experience before and after is very important, and I will definitely reiterate what she's saying to every parent in the room who has young children. It was imperative, because I grew up going to public school, and listening to, and that was a long time ago, okay? Listening to my nieces and nephews talk about what was going on in the schools now, I was like, oh, there is no way. So it was, to Nahila's point, it's an investment. It's something that it does take a lot to send your child to Islamic school, not just because of the cost, well, mainly because of the cost, but yeah, but it has to be something that is a priority. And I definitely, my son is in college now, and I can see the difference, you know, with how the friends that he had, maybe Muslim, whether he has non-friends too, but it's that being able to interact still as a Muslim, no matter what environment. So alhamdulillah.
So I'm going to beg your attention to, I want to go on a different tack. This is America, isn't it? This is our country, regardless of where you might be born, but I would imagine many of you are born here. This is our country, and I think sometimes as converts we feel like we're not American, we're not Muslim, we're always trying to catch up with somebody else. We lose our families, we have people look at us oddly or whatever in our own culture, but really when we talked about leadership, Nahila mentioned that, we are the leaders. We can take the leadership position of Islam in this country because it's our culture. We have to be American Muslims now and not bowing to the Arabic culture or the Pakistani culture. And I know for a lot of women, you marry into another culture and you try to appease your husband and you somehow become sort of a Pakistani Muslim in a way or an Arabic Muslim in a way. But we're American Muslims, and as people who create curriculums for the schools, we are striving ever more to keep telling the teachers and the children we want to create Islam in America, which is different than Islam in other places, and that's okay. Islam is so huge and so wonderful and so pliable that it can be applied to so many different cultures. But we don't need to apply somebody else's Muslim culture in America. And I think as converts, we're very close to having come in on Allah's true word from the Quran. We don't have all the culture to mess us up where Islam has been practiced for 500, 1,000 years, and all the culture has entered into it so that people don't even know what's Islam and what's their culture. We can really start fresh, and we need to lead our brothers and sisters who come here from other countries. We need to lead them in the American experience of Islam, which is, of course, is, you know, bringing our children up among other Muslim children and giving them that great diversity, which is so broadening for everybody. We had an open house here last week with the mayor of Richardson, and he was just waxing poetic about the wonderful diversity in Richardson. We have 67 different faiths represented just in the city of Richardson, and how much he loves the diversity, the Richardson Interfaith Alliance and so forth. We are in an amazing place, and we are in the best place in the world to practice this religion. We often get scared, like, oh, there's so much haram for our kids. Oh, my son's going into college, and there's girls, and there's alcohol, and there's drugs. But we are in the best place because we have the freedom that a lot of our Muslim brothers and sisters didn't have in other cultures. We can do what we want to do. We can live Islam to the fullest here in America. We have the support, and it's growing. From somebody who does interfaith a lot, it's growing by leaps and bounds. If any of you went to INT the night after the awful tragedy in New Zealand, that place was packed. Omar Suleiman, mashallah, brought 20 civic leaders and faith leaders like that. The place was packed. There was standing room only. There were people who'd never been in a mosque before. We're making a difference. And as I said, we all have the language. So if you know your Quran and you speak the English language well, and you kind of remember how your other faith tradition talked about religion, and you can combine those two and talk to other people, it's great. And something I want to say to all of you, there's Islamic Speakers Bureau, and there are other groups in this town that regularly, Why Islam, hold conferences to teach you to talk about Islam. And I'm not saying you have to get up on a stage like we did today, but if you're talking to somebody in the grocery store, you're talking to your child's teacher at school, if you go to these conferences, which are often free, they will help you learn how to speak well about Islam. And we want native speakers to speak about Islam and speak well, right? And we all can. We all can. So that's my rant.
Awesome, thank you, sisters. So just to kind of wrap up, what I gathered from this, just to kind of simplify what you guys spoke about, is in order to be the change that you want to see in the world, you need to identify those roadblocks. Sometimes you remove them, sometimes you just go over them. And this way you can emulate the character of the Prophet as given to us through the Quran, as given to us through the Sunnah, so that we can be the best Muslims. And we can all reunite together in Jannah, inshallah. Ameen. Awesome. Okay, so I'm getting hungry. If you guys are ready, there is meat, standard meat, and not standard meat, Zabia meat on the left, drinks and beverages and ice. Vegetarian meals are on the right side of the, is this a masala? It's just a commentary. It's on the right side. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up and break for lunch and salah, and we'll see you back at, what time is the men's? 2:15? No, the next session's at 2:15. Next session's at 2:15. There we go. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Enjoy your meal, and I'll be walking around talking to you guys.